Hello everybody, welcome to Eat, Cook, Learn, Love Food. I'm Paul and today I'm going to give you a bit of insight into a beautiful dish that goes well with any sort of roast meats, fish, and it's called a potato gratin. So it's a little bit different to other gratins that you may have made. So what we need to do first is we need a vessel to cook our potato gratin in. So we're going to use a baking tray. We're going to line the baking tray with greaseproof paper, like so. We're then going to just grease that paper as well with a bit of oil. This will stop anything from sticking into the tray when we tip the potato gratin out. Okay, so that's our tray. We'll just put that aside for a moment. Some puff pastry to line our tray. So this is just bought puff. You know, for something like this, don't spend a lot of money on the butter puff, okay? So what we're doing here is we're just lining our tray with our pastry, like so. Okay, and then the other side, for the cuts for our sides. Okay. So you don't have to line it with pastry. However, I like to do it this way. So I think it's a really good way to do it. So basic tray, greaseproof paper, oil the greaseproof paper, put the puff pastry in, like so. It could be short crust, doesn't have to be puff, but short crust pastry. And that's step one. Next thing, we have lovely caramelized onions. So these onions have just been raw onion sliced, put into a pan with a bit of oil and caramelized for about half an hour. So these are just a beautiful caramelized onion. Again, can be done ahead of time with this recipe. So again, pastry in the tray, onions already cooked off. These onions are beautiful, by the way, to have with grilled meat, fish, chicken. It's something else that you probably should just have in your fridge rather than coming home from work, grabbing onions, chopping things up, crying. You can go to your fridge and you'll have onions at your disposal. So these will just go into a bowl. Okay, our next item is the potato itself. So, with the potatoes, we have to peel the potatoes and we slice them on the mandolin. Now, this is a commercial mandolin, so you've got to be careful with your fingers, but you'll find that probably from the Asian shops, you can really buy some really clever devices that you can nice thinly slice the potatoes with. Using a knife, you can do that, but be very careful, and you really want to get this beautiful thin, because these are going to be layers and layers and layers of potato that's going to make our potato gratin. So these will just go on top of the onion mixture. These tarts are also nice or lovely made as individual tarts. So whereby I had the large tray, that's going to be made and then cut up into squares. The other way to do it is you would do individual potato tartlets to serve. So just again, being careful with your fingers here. So the average, this tray that I just showed you before, nice and thinly, we made ahead of time. You can have your tray done, your onions done, but the potatoes will go brown. Basically all we've done here is we've peeled potatoes, and you can put them in water if you like, so that you could have done that ahead of time. But again, the potatoes, if they sit here too long, they will actually go brown, discolour, so you don't want that at all. So if you are a bit rushed for time or want to do it, peel your potatoes, put them in a bucket of water, keep them in the fridge, and you can use them that way. Okay, so there's melted butter. Okay, so it's a bit of a French recipe. So butter is king, butter is flavour. Olive oil would work, but again, you really want that taste of butter. Okay, so butter goes on. Then we have salt. This is sea salt. Okay, just a nice big, say, a tablespoon of salt. Okay, and then we mix through our potatoes with our lovely onions, and we just try to get them all separated with the salt and the butter. Okay. So I hope you can all see this. Right, so there's our potatoes. You can just have a little bit of a taste just to make sure the salt's right. Okay. And one other little trick, so I'm always wanting to give you lots of tips and tricks, is a little bit of cream. Cream is a nice little additive, and some lovely cheese. So that's our cream. Pepper. We all love pepper. I just have I love ground black pepper, but again, don't want too much. Get that in there. Always have dry fingers when you're doing this. Okay. Now these potatoes, now that they've got butter on them, you know, they won't go brown. They will keep their colour, okay? So, looking in here, we have our tray, and what we're doing is we're layering in the potato. Nice thin layers. That little bit of pastry's sticking up there. Okay. So, 1 layer of potatoes, 2 layer of potatoes. Okay, it's all about the layers. So it's a classic French sort of recipe. So again, how are we looking with that, Lula? Can everyone see that? Yep.
Clear as day.
Clear as day. Beautiful. She goes layer upon layer upon layer. Right, so once we've got a layer done, we have our beautiful thyme. So thyme is quite strong. You don't need a lot. You could use rosemary. You could use thyme, you could use sage. But again, it's quite strong, so you don't want too much in there. And then we have our lovely cheese. Just a thin layer of cheese, grated. And hence we do another layer of potatoes. So the layers are important. What it's doing, it's giving you a lovely tart of potatoes that when it's cooked, you will have all these beautiful layers. And when you eat it, it'll just melt in your mouth. Okay. So then try to get some onions in there while you're doing that. They're all speckled through. The amount of onion, you know, when you book into one of my cooking classes, I'll tell you exactly, but there's no rules. You know, you really want onion in your recipe. So, a couple of onions, caramelized, is the way to go. Thyme, again. There you go. And some cheese, like we did before. Gruyere cheese is a really nice, beautiful cheese, very expensive. This is Parmesan cheese, but again, nice bit of cheese in there. Then I like to add a bit of cream, not too much. That just really, you don't want too much cream, but it's going to keep it really moist, and it gives a nice creaminess to the potatoes. Okay. So really get those onions in there, because you really want the top layer without any onions, because that's going to cook. If they're on top, they will burn, yeah? So we give that a little push in there. Okay. Bit more thyme. You can put the stems in there, that doesn't matter. They're a very nice flavour. But if you're really particular, you can take the stem out. A little bit more cheese. Okay. Cheese, cheese, cheese. And again, another layer of potatoes. And So this was 12 potatoes, different sizes. But like I said to you, you'll need to look at your different vessel. It doesn't have to be right to the very top either, but you want to get at least an inch high, you know, so it's got a depth to it. So when it sits on the plate, which you'll see later, it actually looks really yummy and appetizing, not sort of a centimetre high. You're not going to get the look you're after, okay? Okay, so I'm just trying here not to get the onions on top because they will burn, because this is going to go into a hot oven, say 180 degrees for a good hour and a half. So a couple of tips too, sometimes, I won't do it today, but I cover it with foil and put it in the oven. Here is our tart so far. Okay, and we have got a beautiful, lots of layers. There's about 6 layers of potatoes. We'll put a little bit more cream, not too much. And we're going to bake this in the oven now. We'll put this in the oven for 45 minutes on 180 degrees. That will cook, and then we'll take it out, we'll have a look. We'll then put it back in the oven, finish it, and then I'll show you the end result. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Okay, so the potato gratin has been in the oven for it's about an hour now, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Whew. And we'll take it out, and this is our beautiful potato gratin. So first things we must do, we want to know that it's cooked. Now I know it's cooked, it's been there for an hour and a half. I didn't lower the temperature. This burnt part here, don't be scared by that. No one's going to see that. The pastry has protected the tart itself. The knife just glides through beautifully. And here we have our stunning potato gratin. Now, the next thing is to put a weight on it. Something heavy like so. And then I really want to put on there pretty much like a... Oh, here we go. I'll put my mortar and pestle on there. Okay, so what's going to happen here is the mortar and pestle weighs about 3 kilos. That's going to now weigh down the potato and just compress everything, squash everything down. I'm going to leave it like that until the potato gratin is cooled. Okay, and then I'm going to take it out and show you what's. Now the disbursement of the weight must be clearly all over the top. You can't just press one side down or the other. You want to center it all. So it's lovely and centered. It's just going to sit here now, relax, compress and go cold. And then to serve it, we basically take it out of the tray, cut it up and reheat it. I'll show you that in just a moment. So again, stay tuned, enjoy your cooking. Okay, so here's our potato and cheese tart. We've had it pressed for about half an hour, but like I said, you could leave it pressed for longer. We're then now going to turn it out onto the board. And voila, here we have our, smells amazing. Okay. And we must use a serrated knife. It's so much better to use a serrated knife. And like I said before, the little corner bit are going to be cut off. Okay. There. This is when you have a little taste yourself. So good. Beautiful. So I'm just gonna clean up those edges. Like so. And pick up the other board. And that is our lovely potato gratin. So as you can see, all these beautiful layers, okay? Now, to serve this, like I said to you before, that's 1, 2, 3. So it's 9 serves, easily 9 serves. Now, it's a little bit hot at the moment, but again, you would, when it's cold, you'll cut it into squares, 9 pieces, put it back onto a baking tray. When you want to serve it to your guests, you will then put that on the tray into the oven for about half an hour at about 180 degrees. It'll bring it back to temperature, crisp it up a little bit. That goes onto your plate with your grilled fish, grilled chicken, grilled meat, and it's a beautiful thing. So again, potato gratin, made for you in one day, but again, make this the day before, bring it back to life. Any questions, please reach out to eatcooklearnlovefood@gmail.com and I'll answer your... Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your cooking and make some wonderful things like this. Thank you. Bye.